Right, so there's been some talk about Conor McGregor versus Frankie Edgar recently, and I don't understand it, okay? Because I think if McGregor wants to come back and fight anyone, it has to be Gaethje or Poirier, otherwise he will earn no respect from anyone. If he comes back and beats Frankie Edgar, it's not going to do him any favours. People are just going to say, oh, you beat a guy who was going to go to bantamweight, instead he came up. You beat a guy past his time, and he's not going to get any, even though Frankie Edgar is a good opponent, McGregor is McGregor, and people are going to say that he gets no credit from beating Frankie Edgar. So there's no reason for him to even fight Frankie Edgar, because MMA fans aren't going to give him any credit whatsoever. And also, it doesn't boost up his standings and boost his stock at 155. You have to be a real 55 contender. But I feel like this whole rumour about McGregor versus Edgar being next is kind of overblown. Okay, I'm going to do a little prediction on it, but I feel like it's a little bit overblown. Okay? Because John Kavanagh keeps saying that he wants McGregor to fight Frankie Edgar. But a lot of people don't know this, but John Kavanagh is a huge Frankie Edgar fan. After McGregor beat Aldo, and they were talking about moving up in weight, John Kavanagh was like, I'd love to see him fight Frankie, but, you know, if it's moving up, I don't want him to make the weight cut, maybe Frankie at 55. They were doing all these, and Conor's coach is just a huge Frankie Edgar fanboy, in my opinion. From what I'm hearing from him in multiple interviews. He's just a bit of a fan of Frankie Edgar. So I wouldn't look too much into that statement. McGregor threw out the name. It was kind of one of the last ones on his list. I don't think it draws any money, because Frankie Edgar seems to be very polite with McGregor. That's not going to sell. You need a guy who's McGregor's coming back to fight. First of all, is going to be a bit more of a threat. Second of all, where McGregor might even be an underdog, which would be the biggest sell. If McGregor's an underdog, you know, if John Jones is an underdog, that sells. If McGregor's an underdog, it sells. That's why the Khabib fight was selling so good. Because it was finally this guy who's supposed to beat Conor. You know? He's supposed to beat Conor. I don't think they're looking into the Frankie Edgar fight too much. I am worried because I do think that Edgar would have had a fight announced by now. But I am thinking McGregor comes back against Gaethje. But as for a little prediction, I think McGregor would smoke Frankie Edgar. I think he'd do him bad. Really bad. At featherweight, it'd be even worse for Frankie, in my opinion. I think he'd destroy him at lightweight. Frankie Edgar's too small. He's not going to be able... Listen, McGregor, in retrospect, did very well against Khabib. A lot of people say he got dominated. Yes, but compared to other guys, he did very well. In the third round, defended every takedown, or defended a majority of the takedowns, never got held down in the third. I think if you could do that to Khabib, do it to fucking Frankie Edgar, who's past his prime, you know, chin's a little bit spent, maybe he hasn't got many knocks left on the chin that he can take. Brian Ortega, the jiu-jitsu guys, knocking him out cold in the first round. I don't think McGregor... I think McGregor would destroy him, first of all, and KO him inside the first round. Like, brutally. And I also think that there's no even point even talking about it. Like, I don't think that fight should happen. It shouldn't happen. He's going to get no credit for beating Frankie Edgar. It doesn't put him closer to a title shot of 55, because he hasn't beat a 55-pound contender. And you could say, oh, well, Frankie used to be a 55er. Yeah, used to be doesn't mean shit. You know what I'm saying? Colby Covington beating RDA doesn't put him in line for a title shot at lightweight. So it doesn't mean anything. McGregor needs to come back and fight Gaethje. I don't know what all this talk is about. I know McGregor wants to fight Gaethje because they were signed to fight each other before. So clearly that's the fight that interests him most. Coming back. A guy who's willing to stand with him. A guy who has been TKO'd before. And chin is good, but can be knocked out and can be finished. That's obviously ideal for McGregor. A guy who isn't the most technical. Maybe more recently he's more technical, but you know, there's more technical guys, and he's Justin Gaethje's very hittable as well, so that must be something that McGregor likes. I don't think fighting Frankie Edgar is the answer. I think he should fight Gaethje when he comes back, because I think he'd destroy Frankie Edgar, and no one wants to see that shit. No one wants to see that. And above all else, it's not like Frankie Edgar's coming off a massive win streak where he's beaten a bunch of guys. Maybe if Frankie Edgar had got the better of Max Holloway, I'd have been like, yeah, Edgar McGregor, the fight we never got to see at 45, let's make it happen. He's on a loss. And he wants to go down in weight. And now he's going to come up. Like, That doesn't attract me at all. I want to see McGregor Gaethje. I don't even want to see McGregor Poirier. Poirier McGregor isn't interesting to me. McGregor smoked him in round 1. And even though that happened a while ago at a different weight class, it still stands. I'd rather see him fight a guy he's never fought before than a guy he's already KO'd in the first round. Is that just me? Gaethje's coming off a massive streak of wins over big names. Poirier coming off a loss. Ooh, Poirier versus McGregor, the two guys that both lost to Khabib. What's going to happen? Doesn't sell. Or McGregor versus this guy that we have no idea how he does against Khabib. This new guy coming up that's dangerous, that's KOing everyone, and the McGregor's going to have a tough time with. I don't want to see him versus Frankie Edgar at all. I think he'd dust him. Gaethje versus McGregor's the fight to make. And that's final. Okay? And I've put my fucking foot down. That's the fight we need. Don't need fucking Poirier either. I wouldn't mind Poirier, but if I had to choose, Gaethje's the one. You can sell that. You can sell that. Just imagine. Imagine the sell. You make a promo. It's McGregor and all his highlights and him. But they're probably going to sell it like a redemption story. Like when John Jones came back and he's running in the woods and he's like, I'm going to change my life and I'm going to make things right. That kind of, I think that's the storyline they're going to go with. And then McGregor, you see all his bit, and then instead of switching to, and then a midget who's going to go to bantamweight and he just lost a title shot and he says he wants to maybe give up. That doesn't sell. Or do you sell the guy who's destroyed 3 guys in a row by KO and is looking more vicious than ever and is a monster? 3 first round KOs in a row. New guy. Whatever his fucking record is, it's ridiculous. 20-2, I think his record is. The highlight. Everyone knows him. He brings the chaos. That's the fight I want to see. That's the fight I want to see. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Click that. Yeah.